some of the folks will come back in and be able to hear it. But it's actually based around a song that I wrote a long, long time ago. And the song was called He Makes Dreams Out of Nothing. And I originally wrote this song with hurting people in mind, because I realized that no matter where you travel to around the country, there's always people going through very difficult times in their life. And so I wrote this song to be an encouragement to the folks. But I can also say He makes dreams out of nothing. You don't give up on your dream. You don't quit. Quitting's not even an option. And I can say that with a little bit of authority, because I had a dream that took over 32 years for it to be answered. 32 years. Now, 32 years might seem like a long time to be praying about something for some folks, and some of you may have been praying a lot longer than that. I don't know. But from the time I was about, I don't know, 14 or 15 years old, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a country singer. And so after a brief stay in the Navy, I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, where the big boys are. I'm going to try to make my mark in country music. Now, it's very hard to get a professional contract out of Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, there's thousands of songwriters that go there every year, and they just don't make it. And they're very talented people, but they don't meet the right people, or the timing's not right, number of circumstances. And there's all kinds of song charts that are in Nashville that will take your money and give you a box of about 500 to 1,000 CDs and tell you that you're great and you never hear from them again. Just song charts. And to get a professional contract was really difficult. And I ended up getting a professional contract. And I was signed with an artist agency that handled some of the people from the Grand Ole Opry. And they also handled some of the people. There was a popular television show back in those days called Hee Haw. Remember Hee Haw? Well, they handled some of the artists from Hee Haw, and I've worked a time or two with Grandpa Jones on the road. And anyway, it looked like everything was going to be coming my way. And they hired me originally as being a songwriter, and they found out that I was a singer too, so they put me on the road singing some. And I thought, wow, my dreams are coming true. I'm going to make it. And I was even offered a national recording contract with a major label that was popular back in those days. And just looked real good to me, but I tell you what, just about as soon as everything was being offered to me, it was taken away. And I found myself running out of money, getting really discouraged, getting downhearted, and things were falling apart. And I knew I was going to have to move back home. And I can remember going into one of the agencies, and they booked a famous singer by the name of George Jones. And this guy was one of his agents. And he said, buddy, he says, whatever you do, he says, don't leave town. He says, sell your car, do whatever it takes, stay in town. He says, eventually you're going to make it. Now, I know God was working here because I didn't listen. If I was in my listening to what I would have listened to that. I mean, an agent tells you to stay here, you're going to make it. But I didn't. I was so discouraged. I thought, well, no, it's not working out. And I think I ate cookies for like a whole week, and I ate my mom sent me some cookies, and I ate the chocolate chip cookies first, so I was like, it's going to be hard. People are going to think, well, there's that guy, there's Buddy Davis. There's that guy who's going to be that big country singer in Nashville, Tennessee, and he just wasn't good enough. Come to find out that most people in my hometown didn't even realize that I was gone. That's pretty bad when you're from Hempstead. And so God is so good, though. You see, had I remained in Nashville, I would not know that I could sculpture. And so there's a number of things that led to my sculpturing, but I wanted to take that energy that I was using to write songs and sing, and take that talent and see what else I might do. So I started out being a tax nurse, and through taxidermy I learned animal anatomy and expression. And that led to sculpturing dinosaurs. Didn't even know that I could sculpture at all. And so God was working all of this time, you see. And I got interested in sculpturing life-size dinosaurs. I didn't want to make little models. I wanted to make life-size models. And people just couldn't understand what I was doing. I live in an old log cabin, about a 180-year-old log cabin, and I started building a life-size stegosaurus on the front porch of my log cabin. My wife is a patient woman. My dad, he couldn't understand where I was going. He'd see me building these dinosaurs, and he'd say, "What you gonna do with them things, boy?" I said, "I don't know. I just know I'm supposed to build dinosaurs," and I was building dinosaurs, and at that time, I believed in evolution. I was saved. I asked Jesus to be my Lord and Savior a long time ago, but I still believed in evolution. You see, nobody ever told me anything any different. All I ever heard when I went to school was about the millions of years in evolution. I didn't have a problem with it. Didn't think it mattered. It certainly wasn't taught at our church. And praise God, early on some people give me some literature on creation. And when I started building these dinosaurs, they saw it and they said, "You ought to read this." I think it was from ICR out in California, some of that literature. And it was like a drink of water in the desert to me, and it made sense. And I started to get more and more interested in it. And I can remember getting so excited about reading some of this literature. And I would walk outside literally, and I'd throw my hands in the air and praising God. You know, it's really neat. And I realized that if I was that hungry for that type of information, probably a lot of other people need to hear too. As the Bible says, how can they hear without a preacher? How can they know unless somebody tells them? And so there's a lot of folks just in the same position that I was. Anyway, I started to build my dinosaurs, and as I built my models, I would from a mold I'd cast one for myself. So I started collecting all these different dinosaurs. And I called up a shopping mall one day. Didn't know what I was going to do with them yet. Just had the dinosaurs. And I called up a shopping mall and I said, "Would you be interested in having me bring some dinosaurs to your mall?" And they said, "No, we're not interested in balloons." I thought, balloons? I said, "You misunderstand me. These are not dinosaur balloons. These are dinosaur models, life-size models." She says, "Models of dinosaurs." And she says, "Well, you know what?" She says, "I used to work at Dinosaur Park in Connecticut." I said, "Really?" And I said, "You know Andy Main?" She says, "Andy Main." So you see, Dinosaur State Park in Connecticut had bought some of my dinosaurs. So that's God even working there. I can see that. And so they ended up booking my dinosaurs in their shopping mall, and it drew a record crowd in their mall. Well, they own 2 or 3 other malls, I think several in West Virginia and several in Ohio, and they booked me to these malls. Then the word started getting out that they were drawing nice crowds at these shopping malls, so it was turning into a full-time business for me. So I had to get out of the taxidermy, and I was just doing full-time dinosaurs. And used to be too that pastors would bring their youth group to my log cabin because it's in a woods and it's just a nice place to come and visit. And they'd have me sing some songs around a campfire. And they'd show their Sunday school classes and stuff, some of the taxidermy work that I've done down through the years. But they started seeing these dinosaurs, and you could just read it in the preacher's eyes. I wonder what Buddy's getting into here. Do we really want to bring our students here to see these dinosaurs, or what's he doing? What's he getting into? And so they kind of questioned me about it, and I started to talk to them about creation and how God created the dinosaurs, and the pastors, they like that. And next thing I know, I'm being invited now to come to their churches and talk on creation. And anytime you have to stand up in front of people